Just as big a day for you guys coming up here, though, right?
Yeah, huge game for us. It's that time of year where everyone's important. And I think the second seed in the Big East tournament's going to be huge, so we're in a fight for that. And so hopefully we can come out and have another good performance like we had on Sunday.
What do you remember about the first time you played Providence?
Well, a couple things. We were at full strength and playing well. They were struggling at that point. And Cartwright didn't play in the second half due to an injury. So they're a totally different basketball team right now. He's playing at a high level. Bullock obviously has always played at a high level, and some of their secondary pieces that weren't really a big part of their offense before are now. So, and then defensively, Ed's teams have always done a good job. They've had 8 days to get ready, so I'm sure we're going to see some things we haven't seen before.
Have any of the players mentioned a word like Villanova this week? Or
No, not at all. I think they understand how important each game is with these last four, both positioning ourselves for the Big East tournament seed and also for a postseason seed.
You think about personnel, obviously Providence has had a lot of talent, but they've been a matchup that's been challenging for you guys just in terms of schemes and things like that. What is it about what they do that consistently is something you have to watch out for?
Well, I mean, before you have Chris Dunn running around out there who was a top 5 pick in the NBA draft, so he posed so many problems, and they got things because of him. Both his ability to score and create, and then defensively he was a one-man wrecking crew. This team's much different, and I think Ed has gotten better as the season's gone on. And we've lost a couple really close games to them, but we finally got the monkey off our back and won a game in Providence, which is one of the places we hadn't won yet. So that was a step in the right direction. It's obviously a big game for Providence as they try to get themselves on the right side of the bubble NCAA tournament-wise, and it's a big game for us. So because we want to finish this season on a little bit of a run.
What enabled you to put the game away second half against Georgetown?
Well, we made some shots. Obviously, the ball moved. We were able to force some turnovers and turn them into points on the other end. And then defensively, 70 points on 77 possessions. If that's the type of defense you're playing, you're going to give yourself a chance to win most nights. So I was pleased with the way we moved the basketball. And Marcus obviously had a terrific night. He's playing with a lot of confidence right now, and hopefully he can carry that into the last few weeks of the season.
Is there a blueprint at all that you can carry up? Because I think the games against Seton Hall and Xavier where you had those guys, you were maybe had them at that point where you could either extend the lead or they could get back in, and they got back in it, and it didn't happen on Sunday.
Yeah, it's as I said after the game, basketball sometimes can be as simple as making shots and missing shots. And we had opportunity to make shots in those games against Xavier and Seton Hall and didn't, and they did. Sunday we made shots and we were able to keep Georgetown from making them. They went 3 of 22 from the three-point line, and how much of that is defense and how much of that is them missing. You'd like to think some of it's defense and some of it's also making sure that the right guys are shooting it. But our guys fought in the backboards, kept ourselves in it in that regard, and that's going to be important again tomorrow.
Well, Zierden's had a tough road through his career here, but he's closing in on the end here. Just talk about he had a big game Sunday and what he's meant to this team.
I'm just really proud of him. He's, he was on the early teams that went to the NCAA tournament, and then went through the tough time in our program as we had to rebuild things, and now he's here at the end as a senior playing an important role on a really good team and has done everything we've asked him to do, whether it's the starter last year and one of our leading scorers to come off the bench this year and now have to play the point guard some when he hadn't played it all year. Whatever he's been asked to do, he's done it. And when you go through a game defensively and you break down a game after the fact, he makes very few mistakes. He's in the right spot. He does so many things that don't show up on the stat sheet that impact winning. And because of that, we're certainly going to miss him when he's gone.
Hey, you guys have shot the ball so much better as of late as compared to maybe early on in the Big East schedule. Z said it's just practice, but he also said that it's the confidence in making sure you keep taking shots. How important is that to keep that edge?
Yeah, I mean that's who we are, and we never really wavered off the confidence in our guys, even when we had some bad games. I mean you have have to continue to shoot it. And obviously, we want our guys to attack, the guys that are capable of doing that. And Marcus got to the rim early in the game against Georgetown. Now that fuels your confidence, and now maybe you're making jump shots a little bit better instead of trying to approach it the other way, trying to hit a perimeter shot first and then attack later. So the ball's moving pretty well with this group. It's an unselfish group. Some of the mistakes we make are, well, their intentions are good. They're trying to make an unselfish play. We're not executing them that well sometimes. So those are things we have to clean up, and we'll continue to work on as we move towards the end of the season.
You won there on the road back in January. What are your thoughts about this?
It's been a long time since we played them, so I think we got to really focus in on practice, on, preparing and getting their plays down. They're a good team that's trying to fight to get in the NCAA tournament and make a run in the Big East tournament. So we got to be prepared and keep playing and build on last week's win.
There's a point in that game on Sunday where you had a decent lead, and you've seen those leads shrink before. What helped you guys sort of put Georgetown away the way you did in the second half?
I would say our leaders stepped up. I wouldn't say we stepped up on the court, but vocally we stepped up and kept guys, focused. Coming out of halftime, we struggled a little bit. We struggled for like the first minute, but picked it back up. So it's just all about our leaders just stepping up and keeping guys mentally focused during the game.
Is it all intangibles? Like when you look back at Seton Hall, you were up by 5 or 6. You couldn't put it. You let them back in.
Right.
What happened then that didn't, or what didn't happen then that happened on Sunday? How did?
I think for us, it's like a new season for us with Maurice being down, and we haven't been in that situation yet. And now I feel we've been through everything that we've been through throughout the whole season with Maurice. So I think we're just figuring it out now. And I think we figured out Sunday how to really put teams away and just stay focused, have the same mentality we have when we come out in the first half.
But for you, how good does it feel to be making shots consistently that you want to make and at the level that you want to make them again?
It definitely feels good. I've been struggling with my shot a little bit. I'm just letting the game come to me right now. I think that's the best thing I can do to help my team win is just, sit back. Like in the first half, I just let Davion, he was getting going, Cole got going, Taz got some easy layups, and then I just got to sit back and let them do their thing and take over when it's my time. Don't force the issue too much.
Coach Mack said it helps when you attack, though, early on. Is that true? Does it feel better when you go?
Yeah, definitely it's true. Usually for me, it's always been about my shot, but, this season it's been different. And, it's my first time having, a nice body where I can overpower people. So getting to the basket definitely helps me a lot. It just opens everything up for me.
One more. Is it hard not to look ahead to Villanova?
Oh, yeah, definitely hard. Being one of the best teams in the country, defending national championship, it's hard. But, I think we do a good job of taking it game by game, putting games in the past, like the Seton Hall game, we put it past us and, got focused for the next one. So I figure we do the same thing after this week.
The conference slate, you guys kind of struggled shooting the 3-ball. What's been the difference the last few games that everybody, not just you, but everybody's hitting?
Hard work. It's you just got to get in the gym. You go through little lulls in the season, shooting slumps, and you just got to shoot your way out of it. And the guys have done a great job of getting in the gym and doing that.
Is it just as easy as just saying practice?
Yeah, but at the same time, you can't let it get in your head. Shooting is just all confidence and mechanics. And if you start thinking about it, the more you think about it, the less likely it is to go in. So I think doing your work ahead of time, gives you that confidence where you won't think about it.
Isaiah, talk about Providence. You won 78-64 out there the first time. What are your thoughts about this one?
They're a good team. We've had a tough time playing them ever since we were in the Big East. Don't have a great record against them, but we did a decent job out there. They didn't have Cartwright for most of the game, so we gotta look at that. But they're a good basketball team, and they're a lot better in transition than they were earlier in the conference. So we got to make sure we do a good job of transition defense.
Hey, I'm better at the point guard rotation, getting it, making the reads, off ball screens, in transition. That seemed to be a thing that you guys thought was going to be the hardest to replace without Mo. I guess how much better is that rotation? You, Tyler, and David.
Just practice. The more you do something, the more confident you get in it, and getting the game reps is a big deal. So for those two, especially to be able to kind of get to play the minutes that Waffle's getting and see the reads in live time, because you can set it all the drills up, but when you get into the live action, it's the toughest to read. So I think being able to get in the game and get game minutes doing it, I think that's been huge.
When it comes to, I guess, the Max says he likes to go with the experience, but it seems like it's a better passing unit that he puts out there too. How important is that? Almost more important than the experience is having a good unit that can kind of break it with 1 or 2 passes.
I mean, yeah. You know, it's basically just reads. You know, being a team, you just got to calm down. You know, teams are going to try to pressure us and speed us up, but you know, if we can find a way to pass it up, then that works too. But you know, if we find a way to break it by ourselves, and you know, either way, we just want to make sure that we don't get too sped up where all of a sudden we're throwing the ball all over the place and not getting into our offense like we want to.
I know you've got games to play, but how meaningful has this time been for you, your senior season? I know it's coming to an end, but how awesome has this season been for you to kind of enjoy the ride, or have you not been able to because you're in the middle of it?
No, you always got to enjoy it. You know, especially with the past 3 years, 3 injuries to end the season. So you can't take anything for granted. You know, I always give the glory to God, and you know, I'm just really blessed to be able to be on such a great team and you know, just enjoy the time here with the great season we've had so far, and hopefully it'll continue through the end.